everyone, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of PAWFestival 2021. My name is Jaeden Simpson, and I will be talking about small animal care today. In the corner, if I move my chair a little bit, you can see my cat Rain. She is sleeping. She will most likely be sleeping for the entire presentation today. So just a little bit about myself. I volunteered at a horse farm for around 4 years when I was in high school, and when I was volunteering, I also was doing competitive horse jumping. That was really fun. And then I also used to work at Petland. I was a supervisor there for 2 years, and then I quit when I became a university student. So I will be sharing my screen. And just going over some small animals with you guys. All right, so right here are some guinea pigs. They'll be the first animal that I'll be talking about today. So guinea pigs typically live for around 5 to 7 years. Skinny pigs are much like guinea pigs, except for skinny pigs don't have any fur. They kind of look like house hippos. Just because of the genetics with skinny pigs, they unfortunately don't live as long as regular guinea pigs do. In the picture that I provided, this was a guinea pig at Petland. Her name is Juno. She gave birth to, I believe it was 6 baby guinea pigs. A little fun fact about guinea pigs is as soon as they're born, they actually are, not as soon as they're born, but within hours, they actually are up and moving and opening their eyes, which is very interesting to see. They also popcorn, so it's almost when they're at their happiest and they want to show they're humans, so they'll kind of jump and like twist their body at the same time. It's really, really cute. And definitely, if you have the chance, look up a video. So guinea pigs can either go on fleece blankets or Aspen shavings. It's not recommended that they go on pine shavings just because pine shavings are a lot smaller than the Aspen shavings are, so they can actually digest it. Fleece blankets are a necessity though if you have a skinny pig, just because skinny pigs, they only have skin, they don't have any fur to protect them, so they just need a little bit of comfort, I guess. And then also for skinny pigs, if you have one or you're thinking about getting one, coconut oil works very good on their dry skin and they love it, and it's okay for them to eat as well. And then guinea pigs typically can't be litter trained. They are more of a eat and go to the bathroom wherever they want type of animal. So it is best to spot clean their cage daily. If you do have them on fleece, you can just shake it off, or if you have Aspen shavings, then you can just spot clean some areas. Guinea pigs also are extremely vocal, so they kind of get used to the routine. They do need salads in their diet, so they know when you're opening the fridge. They'll actually start squeaking if you open it, even if it's not for them. They just want food all the time. And then, yeah. Just for guinea pigs, it's best to keep them out of direct sunlight and drafts. It's typically like that for all animals. The sunlight is just too hot and drafts can get too cold, and it's not good for such little creatures. All right, so right here is we'll be talking about hamsters. This right here is my hamster Brownie. She is 2 years old. So hamsters typically live for around 2 to 3 years. I've owned 4 hamsters in my life, and only Brownie, my current one, it has lived for 2 years. It just depends on their diet and their cage and their space, on how long they'll live, just because they are such little animals with such little hearts. So hamsters are actually omnivores, so they eat worms and they eat fruits and vegetables. My hamster, she loves worms very much. It's not typically known that you can give hamsters worms. Also, whimsy dog treats you can give them, just because they're vegetarian. And then you can also give them some spray millet, which is typically for birds, but hamsters love it. It helps them gain a little bit of weight. It's a nice treat. And also, if you do want your hamster to gain some weight, you can put some rolled oats on their food, just some dried ones, and they love it. Their teeth also never stop growing, so if you do have a hamster, it's best to put some hay in their cage, and just give them a bunch of toys. Hamsters are good on pretty much any bedding. They like the colorful Carefresh bedding like in the picture, or they do good on pine bedding. Personally, I like Carefresh for hamsters just because I know it feels better than being on some Shavings, but it is all a personal preference. So hamsters are nocturnal and they spend most of their nights alone. So it is best for them to have a bigger cage. If you go to a pet store, they might say that any cage is fine, but they're spending most of their life in their cage, so it's best if it's bigger. They will get up a few times in the day to eat or drink or to play with their owner, but they do spend a lot of their time running on their wheel at nighttime. So I would say like a 40-gallon terrarium is really good. That's what I have my hamster in right now. She is super happy, super healthy. She's just balding a bit on her nose, but other than that, she's perfect. And then a huge bonus is you only have to clean their cage around once a month. I just take a huge bedding of Carefresh and I dump it all into her cage, and it lasts her the entire month. All right, so next we will be talking about bunnies. So in the picture here, this was actually a bunny I found on the road. Typically, you should not pick bunnies up from the road, but in this bunny's case, he was just in the middle of the road, and I knew something was wrong, so I picked him up and took him to the vet, and it turned out he had some leg issues. Bunnies, or mom bunnies, will actually leave their baby bunnies, and then they will go out hunting, or they will go and find a place for them to sleep, and the moms will reject the baby bunnies if they go back and they smell humans on them, so even though this bunny right here is super adorable, it's best to leave them. So bunnies typically live around 8 years. 8 years is mainly if they are happy. If bunnies are in the cage their entire life, they typically won't have a long lifespan as the other bunny that is out of their cage a lot. So bunnies binky when they're happy, just like the guinea pigs when they popcorn. The bunnies will kind of do a huge run or a sprint, and then they'll like go in the air and kick up their hind legs. It's super cute. Please watch a video if you can. Bunnies can also be litter trained. So all you do is put some litter, not your typical cat litter, but it's just kind of like pellets. You put some on the bottom of their litter pan, and then you put hay on top of it. Bunnies actually won't eat hay that is old or messy or dirty. So you have to clean out their hay every single day. For me, I think that bunnies are like the dogs of the small animal world. You can leave them out of their cage because they can be litter trained. They don't make as much of a mess as a guinea pig would. You just need to bunny proof the house because bunnies do like to get into wires and chew them, which definitely is not fun for either party. Bunnies, though, if you do have a cage for them, definitely give them like 2 hours of running time, just because they have such long hind legs, or long legs in general, and they are technically wild animals, but they are in captivity. So yeah, just let them run around as much as possible, and they will be very, very happy. All right, so here is a sugar glider. Sugar gliders are definitely very interesting animals. They were my favorite animal growing up. They're still one of my favorite animals. So they live for around 10 to 12 years. Once again, that is if they're happy. For sugar gliders, they can actually get depressed if they're lonely. That could either be that they don't have a mate or they don't have very much, like a very close relationship with their owner. They are marsupial animals. I can't say that. So they have a pouch, just like kangaroos do, and then they have joeys inside. They love sweet food, hence the sugar in the name. And then they also glide, hence the glide in the name. So sugar gliders actually have kind of wings, almost like bats do. It's pretty cool. They can glide. If you can, once again, please look up a video of them gliding. It's so cool. And then it's hard to see in the picture, but I'm actually feeding this sugar glider some yogurt. Her name is Hobbs. She was at the kangaroo farm in Kelowna, and she was so cute. I believe her name was Hobbs because she is missing a limb. I don't know if that was before or after, but she's so happy. And also you can see she has kind of like a snuggle pouch. If you do have a sugar glider, you're thinking about getting one, definitely get one of those. They're kind of a necessity in bonding with your animal. You can take them wherever. They are nocturnal, so they do sleep during the day, just like hamsters do. And yeah, you can take them anywhere, wherever they're allowed, and they'll just sleep in their pouch, and that's kind of how they bond to you. Also, sugar gliders are more messy eaters, so for their cage, it's best to have a kitchen in there, even if it's just a small little corner with a little bit of food, because they do get food everywhere, and they do like their mealworms too. And for sugar gliders, the same as pretty much every other animal. The bigger the cage, the better, the happier they will be. Sometimes with sugar gliders, they will find a mate and they will want to be in the mate's life more than the human's life. So it does take sugar gliders a little bit longer to bond with their owner, but definitely don't give up. They are super sweet animals. They are adorable. They're so soft. If you ever have a chance to meet one, go say hi to one. And then since sugar gliders are also very smart animals, it's best to have multiple toys in their cage. For sugar gliders, because they are exotic animals, it's not as easy to find proper toys in like your typical pet store, so you might have to look a bit around for them, but yeah. All right, so right here is our final animal today. I wanted to talk about budgies because of their little fun fact, which is they can say up to 1,000 words. Most people are surprised when they hear that budgies can actually talk as much. They mostly think that it's the bigger birds that can talk a lot, but it isn't. Budgies are one of the only birds in the world that can say as much as they do. They can also live for 5 to 10 years. Once again, that depends on how happy they are. For budgies, they can get their wings clipped. So that just means that they can't fly as high. So say I had a budgie in here right now, he wouldn't be able to fly to my ceiling. If his wings were clipped, he would be able to more glide. So he can still fly. It's completely safe. And it is a lot safer for them, because if you leave your door open, you don't want your budgie getting outside. And then they are very simple animals. They do require a little bit of bonding, though. They, just like hamsters, hamsters will actually start to get a little bit aggressive if their owners don't pay a lot of attention to them, just because they're used to being on their own. The same thing is with budgies. They'll get a little bit nippy if they are just by themselves and then all of a sudden their owner wants to pick them up after just keeping them in their cage. So budgies do bond to their owners. They also bond to their partner, and they'll groom their partner. If you are thinking about getting a budgie, or you have one right now and want to get a partner, one of my big tips is rearrange the cage, take out everything, and then put in separate food and water dishes, just to kind of bring in a common territory for your new budgies and a common ground for them. I love all birds, but I thought budgies would be interesting to talk about just because they can say so many words. Conures and African greys are definitely some of my favorites too. They're very smart. I also, when I worked at Petland, we had a bird and it was a kayik. Those are super cool animals. I don't know as much about them as I do with the other ones, but yeah. So just because I can't be here today, let me just clear this really quick. Here's my contact information. It's jaeden.simp@gmail.com. My name is spelled a little bit different, so make sure that you get the spelling right. If you have any questions or just want to talk animals, feel free to give me an email. I will be very happy to respond to that. Let me just clear out of here really quick. Yeah, so I will be very happy to answer any emails just because I can't be there today. Thank you so much for letting me talk. And my cat, Rain, she did sleep through the entire time, but I'm sure she's very happy to be a part of this. Thank you so much, everyone, and I hope that you all have a wonderful afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time it is when you're watching this. Thank you so much.